Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. So I've got another fluid art creation. I'm using a dark background, but I'm using an array of metallics on top, ranging from light gold, dark gold, copper, bronze, silver. So I'm going to use those colours on a canvas. I've also got my embroidery hoop, but I'm not swiping, not on this one. I'll talk you through the process and the idea that I've got in my head. Let's see if we can get that onto the canvas. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see what we can create. Okay, so let me just show you the paints and the brands that I'm using. As you can see, today is all about the Amsterdam brand. So I've got my silver, I've got my copper, I've got a light gold, I've got a bronze, and I've got a dark gold. I've also got lamp black as my base colour. You can see that I've already painted my sides, and here are the paints themselves. So I've mixed them with just water, 1 part paint, 1 part water, and you can see each one, the paint just runs off the spatula quite easily. There's a good flow there. So I've mixed my paints, I've prepared my canvas. Let's go. So I want my embroidery hoop in the middle of the canvas, and then I want to puddle the paints around that embroidery hoop and blow out the colours to create some movement. So this is really about creating movement on the canvas. So I'm just going to remove my embroidery hoop whilst I get a black base down on the canvas. Remember, this is just paint and water, 1 part paint, 1 part water. And I'm just now going to spread that paint that I've puddled in the middle across the full surface area of the canvas. I don't need it to be too fluid because I am going to add some more volume of paint on top. So I want to ensure that I spread this paint out across the canvas so I've got my base colour. But I'm going to be adding more paint to this. So I'm going to add volume and fluidity. So let's take the embroidery hoop, let's place it in the middle of the canvas, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way around the hoop. I'm going to have certain colours on one side and then other colours on the other. And I just want to create that movement. So this is really about how I'm going to blow out the paint around that embroidery hoop and across the canvas and down the sides. So let's start. I'm going to pick up my silver, and I'm going to start with the silver, and then I'm going to take one colour at a time, and then I'm going to place that paint on the canvas. So I've got enough paint on my canvas, and I'm now just using my torch to pop any air bubbles. When I mix my paint with just water or even a pouring medium, when you're stirring that paint with that pouring medium or water, you're creating air bubbles. So it's just important to pop those air bubbles before we start. My blow dryer is on a cool setting and the lowest blow speed. And now it's about blowing the paint in different directions around the hoop, down the edges and over the sides. And it's now about how I position the hairdryer on the canvas to blow that paint out, to create that movement around that circle we have in the middle. So I'll leave you now so you can see how I do this. But it's really important, and I emphasize this all the time. Please, please, please just enjoy that creative process. Enjoy being in that moment of the here and now, and enjoy yourself as you go. Don't worry about the end result. Things can always be fixed, things can always be tweaked. Just allow yourself to also step back, have a look at the overall composition and the overall flow. So the purpose of this one, using the metallics with this hoop, is about creating movement around the hoop. So just allow yourself some time to do that. I am so happy with how this is turning out, and I can't wait to take you in for a closer look. Remember, if you're enjoying the video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Let me know what you're thinking throughout this process. There's a comments box just below this video, so pop your comments in there. I read every single one, and I really appreciate every single one as well. And remember, if there's any piece that I create that you're interested in purchasing, they're all for sale. Just drop me a message and we can discuss price and shipping. I'm just going to use my torch just to pop any air bubbles that are there on the surface, and then I'm going to remove the embroidery hoop, and then I'm going to take you in for a close-up of this wet version. I can't wait for you to see some of these details and see that movement around the hoop. So let's remove the hoop. Just need to gently remove it. There we go. I'm just checking to see if there are any puddles of paint, because if there are puddles of paint on that canvas, that will affect the drying process and it may crack. But if you have a good consistent layer, then it should be good. And here's the dry version. I love how it's dried. I was thinking about putting something in the middle of the circle, but maybe I'm going to leave it blank. What do you think? What shall I do? Shall I add something in the middle, like a mandala, or shall I just leave it blank? I'd love to know what you think. Let me hear your opinion about it. Thank you again so much for joining me. I hope you're well. I hope whatever you're up to creatively, you're having fun. And I really hope I get to see you again in the next video. Have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.